Well, did you have that on your bingo card for today? Bitcoin breaking through 60,000 with some very strong volume and, more importantly, retesting a big support level. Now, the question is, what's going on and why is it doing what it did? Well, we talked about this yesterday, that we expected a move on BTC. We're going to break down some further news that you need to be aware of if you're holding Bitcoin or invested in the cryptocurrency market. So that being said, hit that like and subscribe button, join the community, and let's get into this video. So here it is. This is ultimately the news of the day. Now, I've been talking about this, I think for about 2 weeks, in that I knew CPI was going to come in very good. And I was looking for where the Fed could go to a 50 basis points cut in the upcoming FOMC meeting. Now, everyone called me crazy and the Fed watch was indicating only a 25 basis points. Well, guess what? In the last 24 hours, that has flipped. 45% now believing we are going to see a 50 basis points cut in the upcoming interest rate review by the Fed Reserve. Very interesting. And again, aligns then for the narrative that this can all be hedged on CPI and ultimately the economy versus anything else. And actually what I think you'll get is a Jerome Powell that's very dovish and doesn't talk about ultimately jobs or the economy and labors the point of how much and how their successful monetary policy gets us to this point. This is why we've seen Bitcoin spike today with significant anticipation of next week. In fact, pricing in a potential 50 basis points cut. You then move into the November, you look for a further 25 basis points cut, and then into November, we could even see another 50 points, exactly as I talked about. This gives us the 125 basis points cut between now and the end of the year. You chuck in a couple of other interesting sentiments that's going on, which ultimately is the fact that we see MicroStrategy buying another $1.1 billion worth of Bitcoin, now holding 244,800 at an equivalent average price of 38,000 is pretty wild. The purchase price right now at $60,400 is absolutely wild. For those that believe the market's still going to go to 40K, everyone's expecting to buy in at a cheap price. It's simply not going to happen. You don't have someone like MicroStrategy buying that amount of Bitcoin with an over $60,000 average price with an assumption that it's going to drop 20K in the next few weeks. October, November, very strong for us as we move through quarter four. And we talked about that yesterday. Well, like I said, lots of views specifically around this data for the rate cuts. And actually today, $114 million worth of shorts cryptocurrencies on Bitcoin specifically was liquidated. And we talked about this. We've talked about the whale hunters. It's easier to go after the long positions than it is the shorts, but this absolutely aligns to what we've been talking about. And again, has really spiked the price. That's why we've seen such aggressive moves on that. So I guess the question that's on everyone's mind is what's going to happen for the next 7 days? We obviously get the Fed rate next week. Well, look, the market is very long right now. We are predicting a significant move to the upside with very little risk on the downside, which could be bad news. If market makers decide they're going to liquidate some positions, this is obviously a risk. If you look at this to the upside at $63,000, the risk of around $700 million to be liquidated from the positions. Flip it to the other side, go to 55,000, just a 5K drop liquidates $4.8 billion worth of Bitcoin. So this gives you the sentiment of how long the market actually is. The market going super bullish, MicroStrategy going bullish, and many others. And I think this is very key as to how it looks. But like I said, bringing it all back ultimately to where people believe Jerome Powell, his sentiment is going to be incredibly important next week. We know that jobs came in just a little bit hotter than expected, around 3,000 jobless claims further. 227, the prediction, 230 is what actually came in. And again, this aligns to exactly what I think we'll get with Jerome Powell next week. Dovish with a view of tightening monetary policy is over. They are loosening the shackles, allowing the consumer to spend. And this, I think, will spike the price of BTC. You only have to look at today. We keyed some big levels on here, breaking the 200 exponential moving average, breaking the 100-day simple moving average. And what's really important to note here is this move with volume. Actually, we see it on the shorter time frames, let's say the 4-hour, a solid move on volume, which is important to break some of these key levels that we did go through. RSI divergence is pushing to the upside as well. So right now, there are some key things to be looking out on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, and aligns exactly to what we've been talking about now for the last week, that we have some big things to come. The market is absolutely warming up into Fed rates, but don't be surprised if you see some extreme volatility. There'll be some big players trying to liquidate some positions. But my view, Well, we could even see 62,000 on that retest on the 18th of September, as we talked about last week. But let me know what you think of all of this. If you are interested in trading these opportunities, do check out the links in the description. MEXC, Prime XBT are down there if you are looking to trade leverage. Only do that though if you are an expert in the game and know what you're doing. It's high risk, but potentially pretty lucrative rewards. And as ever, don't forget, if you enjoyed this content, please smash the like button. It massively helps out the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Come and join our community. We're absolutely bringing you the latest with cryptocurrency every single day here on the 2Bit Crypto channel. Until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.